Good afternoon. My name is Ashley Dueñez, and I have been an occupational therapist in outpatient and home health pediatrics and in inpatient rehabilitation. I took an interest in a program for older adults as I became my mother's primary caregiver during her rehabilitation following a stroke and a diagnosis of vertigo and osteoporosis. During this period, I began to search for community resources that were accessible and beneficial for her. I then learned more about our local senior citizen centers. I knew that they offered a variety of courses in art, music, crocheting, and Zumba. But despite this array of courses, I began to look into a type of strength training. Through my research, I learned the differences between strength training and functional task training. Functional task training combines strength training with postural control and balance exercises, utilizing activities of daily living and instrumental activities of daily living. Therefore, this project is designed to create an accessible and cost-effective program for older adults living in the community to promote independence and enhance their quality of life. For my program, a local senior citizen center was selected as there are 10 locations across the city, making it accessible, and all programs are free of charge for individuals aged 55 and older. By 2050, the older adult population in the United States is projected to grow to approximately 88 million, leading to a rise in demand for acute and chronic care management, along with common age-related challenges that include decreased functional independence, balance issues, and a higher rate of morbidity and mortality. The World Health Organization recommends that older adults engage in at least 150 minutes of physical activity each week. Unfortunately, less than 10% of individuals aged 55 and older participate in some strength or resistance training. 10 articles were included in our literature review and were organized into 5 themes: functional task training and daily functioning, older adult perspectives and barriers to physical activity, high-intensity functional exercise program in older adults, occupational therapy and chronic care management, and functional task training and balance. Overall, the articles included in the literature review influenced the program frequency, length of each session, design of the functional task training protocol, and the assessments administered. There was also a focus on the principle of specificity. When strength training is used in isolation, older adults often struggle to apply the skills that they have learned into their daily activities. However, when the training is practical, task-specific, and repetitive, the chances of successfully applying these skills increase. Reviewing the current literature also assisted in understanding the barriers to participation, including lack of social support, previous sedentary habits, accessibility, and perceived frailty. By understanding an older adult's perspectives, the program could be designed to address and challenge these beliefs. With the rise in the older adult population, there's also going to be a rise in acute and chronic care conditions, including Alzheimer's dementia. The World Health Organization states that dementia is the #1 cause of dependence. Therefore, engagement in physical activity was observed to preserve the volume of brain regions, delay the onset of Alzheimer's dementia, and have the potential to modify neural transmissions. Although to reap the most cognitive benefits, an individual would need to be physically active as a young adult. However, the reduction of dementia risk was also seen in older adults who became physically active later in life. Now let's get into the details of our program. The individuals were recruited from the East El Paso Senior Citizen Center, which is seen in the photo on the bottom left hand of the poster. And there were a total of 12 individuals. The graph, located in the bottom center of the poster, illustrates that there were 2 individuals in their 60s, 5 individuals in their 70s, and 3 individuals in their 80s. With osteoporosis being the most chronic condition reported, followed by chronic back pain and high blood pressure. 2 individuals reported vertigo, and 1 individual disclosed stage 4 thyroid cancer. To begin, each person was a current member of the Senior Center and completed a pre-exercise screening questionnaire to obtain pertinent health information to consider precautions during the designing of the program protocol. And then each adult was administered the Berg Balance Scale and the Barthel Index of ADLs. The program lasted 6 weeks and began with a 5-minute warm-up that could be modified to be completed in sitting or standing, followed by the functional task exercises. The functional task protocol designed was a combination of the protocols provided in the literature review and encouraged approximately 13 to 15 repetitions. The protocol consisted of 20 functional task exercises in standing with minimal equipment. Equipment that was utilized were dumbbells and step platforms, and each of the tasks could be modified to be graded up or down as needed. After completion of the program, the Barthel Index of ADLs and the Berg Balance Scale were re-administered. When the pre- and post-test scores on the Barthel Index were compared, there was no significant differences observed, as all scores ranged from 95 to 100, which indicated totally independent as per the scoring guidelines. Similarly, the Berg Balance Scale showed no difference between pre- and post-test scores, as individuals scored between 50 and 56, and they were classified as a low fall risk. Most individuals demonstrated independence in the majority of tasks. However, there were mixed levels of difficulty with certain activities, such as sitting to standing without using their hands, standing unsupported with one foot in front of the other, and standing on one leg for more than 10 seconds. Based on the data collected, it was concluded that the existing protocols were not suitable for this community-dwelling older adult population. Although the results indicated no improvement in balance or functional independence, it was likely due to the ease of activities and that the individuals were already community-dwelling older adults who were already motivated to remain active and independent, and attending the senior center activities was already considered a routine activity for most. Given that there was no significant difference in pre- and post-test results, the program should have incorporated assessments such as the Functional Gait Assessment, the FGA, and the Lawton Instrumental Activities of Daily Living Scale, which have the possibility of being more suitable for community-dwelling older adults by evaluating dynamic balance and IADL completion, respectively. Despite the results, the older adults still reported satisfaction with the program due to the peer environment, increased endurance, and confidence utilizing dumbbell weights. For my community-dwelling older adults in particular, the program concluded with the creation of a functional task training class with a permanent time slot, location, and protocol within the senior center. For some individuals, the program created an additional opportunity to socialize and challenge their strength and endurance with functional tasks. For others, it provided a new opportunity to challenge their frailty and learn about the physical, cognitive, and social-emotional benefits of functional task training. As for the community, a long-term goal of the program could be the incorporation of the functional task training protocol at additional senior centers throughout the community. The program could also be marketed towards doctors' offices that specialize in older adults to educate on community-integrated programs that have a focus on productive aging. The American Occupational Therapy Association, AOTA, stated that productive aging was gaining momentum as society faced a rapidly aging population and increased longevity. Therefore, a functional task training program with community-dwelling older adults could be the innovative approach that can be implemented as a preventative, cost-effective measure for community-dwelling older adults who are considered at low risk for falls to maximize cognitive and physical benefits. Occupational therapists can develop affordable and accessible programs that can be integrated into the community. Such programs will aim to reduce costly hospitalizations by placing an emphasis on physical aspects such as challenging balance, strength, and cognition, as well as social-emotional aspects. Although this pilot program did not fully achieve its objectives, it successfully initiated a functional task training program within the community that was accessible, affordable, and required minimal equipment and physical space. Preventative functional task training programs have the potential to delay dependency in ADLs, as tasks are functional, enhance quality of life, and promote aging in place. Overall, the pilot program contributed to the existing literature on functional task training for older adults within the field of occupational therapy and positively impacted the community. Thank you all for your time.